Hey, and welcome to this week's weekly market update for the week of May 30th, 2016. My name is Ben Kay, the condo agent, and today I'm going to update you about two things. Number one, how to win this market, whether you're a buyer or a seller. And number two, of course, as every week, the numbers. So we've got the numbers in. We're at the end of May, so we've got a pretty good indication of what's happening going into the summer months and what the trends are. So to dive right into it, I always base these topics I bring up every week on conversations I've had with clients and individuals in the marketplace the week prior. And so one topic that's come up this past week is, how do we win? Buyers are saying, how do we win in the seller's market? And yes, while it can be discouraging, and certainly the news articles we're reading, the topics we're seeing on Facebook, social media, etc., aren't all positive for buyers. Don't get discouraged, because there is so much that we can do to get you into this market, and make sure you can get equity into this market now, where it's still rising quite rapidly, and you too can appreciate some of these benefits that some of these sellers are appreciating as well. So 3 tips for buyers is, number one, if you're going to start looking for a home or a property, have all your ducks in a row. What does that mean is, know the details of everything that you need, from the dates that you want to move in by to your financing capabilities. Probably that's one of the most important ones, is not just being pre-approved by a good mortgage broker or whoever your financial institution is, but have a strong understanding of how your finances are going to work out, and be ready. So if we're going to start looking at homes, make sure we have your deposit in your checking account ready to go when we find the home that you're looking for and that you fall in love with. And also just be comfortable with your lending requirements. And that's something you can attain by meeting with a mortgage broker or your financial institution well ahead of starting your search, so that you have all your ducks in a row on the financial front. And certainly it's something that I'd be more than happy to help with and recommend certain professionals that do great jobs in this kind of a market, and have done for some of my other clients. Having all your ducks in a row as well also means being aware of what it is that you need and want. And that ties into my next point, which is gauge your needs and wants versus the investment opportunity at hand. So some things are going to be really hard to change. If you want an open concept kitchen, but we're walking into a place that has a U-shaped kitchen, well, that's going to be a lot of work to change. But there's other items that can be very easily changed. So if you have a want for hard surface flooring and this apartment has carpeting, that's probably something you can do yourself. You have to gauge that versus how long is it going to take you to find that ideal home, and in that time, how much will prices increase. So we have to weigh out the differences between how much is it going to cost you to make something your own the way you want, and how much is it going to cost you to wait until you find exactly the home you want the way you want it. So it's all about gauging where things are going. Of course, nobody has a crystal ball, but there's some very strong indicators, which we'll jump into in a moment here, as to where the market is going, and that's perhaps something worth following in your search. And number 3 is, of course, work with your own agent, especially in a market like this where activity is so high and turnover is so quick. You want to have someone who's going to be working in your best interest, who is vested in your best interest, and is going to help you along the way. Yes, of course, you can go onto the various MLS websites and find out, what properties are coming on the market. You can find out when open houses are, and of course, you can do that yourself. Our jobs as real estate agents is not to provide you with access to that inventory. It's to guide you through the process and to facilitate the process. So one thing that we would do in a busy market like this is that we would be super on top of everything that it is that you're looking for in your search. So at the moment that property comes on, you're aware of it right away. And the earlier you're aware of a property, and the quicker you see it, the more time you're going to have to conduct your due diligence prior to the sellers accepting their offers. Ahead of that, also, realtors that are quite active in a market like this, what we know is the properties that may come up, because we communicate with our colleagues as well, and so we always do have insight as well, which is just an add bonus for you. It doesn't cost you anything to work with your own agent. So it's really in your best interest. Now, on the selling side, how do we win? Well, the market is in your favor, as you know, but still, we don't want to rely just on market conditions. We do want to maximize everything that we can on our end to ensure that the market does work in our favor. And so how we would do this, there's really 4 points that I'd like to bring up. Timing is everything. That's my first point. So of course, we want to consider what's happening in the micro market within your building. Okay, so we're going to look at, is there anything else that's active right now that's comparable to yours in terms of floor plans, square footage, finishes? Is there anything that's sold with the same criteria very recently? We don't want to be in a situation where we're competing against a very similar product within the building. We want to time the listing of your property just right. Also, just like within the micro market of your building, we'll also consider what's happening in your neighborhood as well to see if there's anything comparable that's either active or recently sold within the neighboring buildings as well. So timing is everything. Have a strategy in place. So that ties a bit back into that first point of a timing strategy. We also want to have a strategy regarding pricing and marketing. So with pricing, we don't want to list your property too low. We don't want to list it too high. If we do one of those two things, we might be leaving money on the table. We want to price your property just right. And by pricing it just right, we'll get the maximum number of traffic through the door, and that will lead to the maximum possibility of multiple offers on a date that we set for offers. Pricing strategy is very important. We determine pricing by looking at, again, comparable suites within your building that have recently sold, comparable suites that have sold in neighboring buildings, looking at what's active on the market right now, and just assessing the overall conditions of the market and where we think things will go. So pricing is extremely important. Marketing strategy also very important. Again, we don't want to just rely on the market bearing traffic through the door. We want to be able to have maximum reach and reach every possible buyer. So how we do that is not just through the MLS system. Of course, we'll do professional media, so that's photography, videos, floor plans. Ahead of that, we also want to discuss what a good targeting strategy would be for your property. So whether that's digital targeting, print targeting, targeting consumers that we're aware of that have recently offered on the properties and lost out. They're probably still looking for properties, and if we can get them well ahead of time, they might be more enticed to go a bit higher, not lose out on this property that you're offering. So all those strategies do matter. Number 3, just like buyers, have all your ducks in a row. What that means is know all of your dates, know exactly when you want to move out, when you need to move into the next property, how much you need to walk out the door with to cover your expenses, such as the mortgage release, if that's something that's applicable to you. Just know what you want to leave behind, what you want to take with you from the apartment. So do have all your ducks in a row as well. And number 4, just like buyers as well, work with an agent, work with someone who specializes in your marketplace, someone who's active in your marketplace and has experience working in a seller's market, because there's a lot of activity to field, and we don't want to miss any opportunities. We don't want to rely on the market being extremely active and just relax. We want to make sure that we're going to drive as much traffic as we can through the door, that we're going to leverage every offer that comes in, that we know exactly how to negotiate those offers and have you end up with the highest possible price in the shortest possible amount of time. So buyers and sellers, if you have any questions about the process and how to win this market, I'm always happy to chat on the phone, meet in person, and we can discuss all of the above. Now, quickly, the numbers are in as well, as discussed. So since May 1st, 620 listings have come on market. Now, these are all for the west side of Vancouver. If you have questions about other specific markets, I'm more than happy to message you directly. Just send me an email or a call or a text. You'll see my contact information right below shortly. 523 units have sold on the west side since May 1st. That represents a 53% decrease in inventory year to year, so between May 2015 and May 2016. The average price point is at $875,194, and that represents a 31% increase. So the market is very strong. External factors such as financing, lending rates, political policy, our economy are all working in a seller's market's favor. And probably my prediction and some of my colleagues in discussion as well have agreed that we'll see prices increase for the next few months, and then perhaps towards the end of the year we might see a bit of a plateau, and then we'll see how that carries through into the following year. But prices are anticipated to continue increasing as they have been. So a great time to be selling if you're in a position to do so. Also a great time to get equity into the market if you can. You don't want to miss the bus given how trends are going right now. And if you can get equity into the market right now, you'll appreciate that appreciation as well. So if you guys have any questions, you can always reach me directly by call, text, or email. You can also reach me on social media, and I'm always happy to hear your thoughts and comments. So until next time, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.